live now.
Yeah, we should be live, dude.
Awesome.
So not on the original link, but we should be live. So hopefully guys will bounce over to this and they will get it.
Yeah, I just got notification, so we should be good.
Right, awesome. Got a ton of windows open on the machine, but it is what it is. So we will wait for some people to bounce in. Other than that, dude, things are all good. And weekend.
All good this end. Yeah, likewise, mate. Literally just trying to go through 1,000,001 windows, trying to figure out what's open, what's not.
So let's we'll give people a couple of minutes to come in. They might be waiting on the other stream link. Hopefully they will they'll know that for some reason there's been an issue and that we've bounced over to a different stream. No idea why that event wouldn't work. But obviously now we do have a new link for this event. I'm just gonna have to pause it.
Yeah.
Looks like people are managing to come over, which is awesome. I will just update the link on Facebook. Can you see the chat okay, Richie?
Yes, mate. Yeah, I've got the chat. So, Stu Leader, what's happening, dude? Hope you're good. Don the Bon, evening. Bear with us, guys. We just had to change the YouTube link. So Tim is our wonderful whiz kid. He's sorting that out for us now. Just going to pop that up. So hopefully for all you guys that haven't got the notification straight away, we should be able to follow that link straight in.
Oh, we've had some mentions. Okay. So it looks like people are beginning to come over, which is awesome. Thank you so much, guys. We'll be kicking off our debrief in a few minutes. I am sinking the old mind juice to help me remember the weekend. And had a good week. Began to warm up again. Definitely had a bit of a chill from the weekend that took a good day to get rid of. So that was pretty awesome. So I'll just give it a few minutes for guys to come in. Richie, I'm just going to update some of these links.
Yeah, no worries. But evening guys, hope everyone's good. Just going to give it a couple of minutes, let everyone join, get everyone in the room. Tim is doing his wonderful IT bit that I can't do with these sausage fingers. Jim, not 1991, Hobbit, what's happening? Ibrander. A lot of the usual suspects in here tonight. Should be interesting. Should be a giggle. But yeah, hope you guys are good. Hope you're sticking the weather out. No one got stuck, no one got hurt, no one flipped a car. Or if you did, please send footage.
Yeah, again, guys, Richie's volume is a bit low. Right, I can adjust that. It's no problem at all. It should be a little bit better now, hopefully.
Yeah. Donna Bond, boiler is acting up. Well, that's not ideal, mate, in this weather. That's literally on the list of things that you want to happen. That's right down the bottom.
Right, I'm going to get rid of this. Hopefully that has picked up Richie's audio a little bit.
It's just giving a thumbs up, so I'm guessing we're all gravy there.
Awesome.
Should be all good.
Just going to pop the chat out so that I can keep an eye on as many of the comments coming in as possible. And then we can begin to roll into our debrief from the weekend. So I'll get it rolling, I guess. Guys, this weekend just gone was sterling airsoft off the trees. In my humble opinion, really one of the only milsim companies in the UK. There might be some that are slightly tucked away and do more private events, but in my opinion, definitely the leader in the milsim scene. Richie?
Yeah, definitely. There's lots of teams that have been around, are around, and are up and coming. But yeah, at this point in time, let's face it, they are the market leaders. You know, they're good at what they do. and they've been around for a long time. So yeah, for us, it's literally the go-to company for events, just purely because you know what you're getting. That's it. But yeah, like Tim said, awesome weekend. Bitterly cold, like ridiculously cold. Set Kendall minus 26 in Sweden. You're correct, mate. It's nothing like that. That is ridiculous. Yeah, you can keep that. I'm good. I'm all right, thanks.
So yeah, the Trees is based in North Wales, essentially, mid Wales potentially, dependent if you are right on the northern coast. Very, very cold. A lot of the time they get some real kind of severe weather coming in that part of the region. South Wales tends to duck it a little bit sometimes, but the northern part definitely seems to cop some of the bad weather. We were quite lucky missing this snow just by one day, but definitely very cold on the drive in. Noticed it stopping at a few service stations as we began to head across the country. It was definitely a bigger drop in temperature for me. And arriving at the Stirling site, it is driving up a mountain, essentially. So you drive in at the base of this very, very steep hill. And then, we bounced into there. Well, I left behind at 9 o'clock, roughly, Friday morning. And got to Richie, got the bikes loaded up. And then we got to the site at about 4, 5 o'clock. Is that right?
Yeah, I'm going to say about 4, I think. Maybe 4:30, something like that. But I mean, I think to the point where you picked me up, we were actually bang on schedule. Tim said he'd pick me up about 10:30, load the bikes in, leave mine at 11. Everything was spot on, but as you do, guys, with a bit of traffic, a few slow-moving cars, and a couple of stops of food, petrol, coffee. Time soon creeps away from you. So we aimed to be there for 2. We got there about 4. Is what it is. We still had just enough light to set up. But yeah, I do remember as like Tim said, we came in. You can see we're about 2 minutes out from the site, and you look up and just see this mountain of pine forests. So yeah, it was it's an incredible sight as you come into it. It really is.
So we luckily managed to get the Bergens in the back of a truck and get them to the top of the hill. We also had a lot of kits take up that we actually managed to do on the bikes. First time me and Richie got to ride the site on the bikes was via head torch, which was an experience in itself. Riding up a very steep, unfamiliar track that was beginning to frost over, get a bit cold. We were at that point riding via hedge torch. So that was quite fun. Richie, I'm just reading the comments. About the audio. It might be my end, mate. I can pump the volume up just a touch.
It might be worth popping this headset out, mate, if you want.
The only issue is with that is it means your audio will come back through your mic and we'll get like a constant loop.
Right.
But there you go. That seems better. I have just pumped up the audio volume a touch on the output stream, so hopefully that'll help.
Yeah, so like Tim said, as we broke our kit down, once we got set up down at the car parks, we're at the cars, unload everything, build the bikes, had a bit of a chin wag with all the guys there that were unloading as well. So we was lucky enough to things like our main Bergen, water. I think that was about it really. We went old petrol for the bikes. That went into one of the Land Rovers. Sterling guys whizzed that up the side of this mountain. I want to say side of the mountain, the slopes, we didn't realise just how steep they were. So then we basically put our fighting gear and day sacks on, so minimal kit. Followed the Sterling guys up the trail all the way to what would technically be our harbour area for the weekend. But yeah, definitely interested driving under just head torch. Because obviously, you're just following the car in front, so you've got an idea of a bead of where you're going to go on the track. But so you're more concerned about where you're going than the incline of the hill, and all of a sudden you realise, you're leaning right back on the bike, and it's a bit unnerving, if I'm honest.
Yeah, so Friday night was a bit of a getting ready night, as it were, to get up there and get squared away super fast. One thing to mention that I guess some people don't even consider is being able to get your shit together in the pitch black. It is definitely a skill that takes patience, and it takes time, and it takes someone who can admin themselves well to be able to know where things are, to be able to find stuff in the dark, whether it's pegs, basher poles, paracord, whatever that may be. Getting ready in low light is something that's pretty tough. I stayed in Richie's snug pack ionosphere for the first time. Never stayed in one before, never put one together. Luckily, Richie did help me with it. But you know, doing stuff like that you've never done before, and you just want to make sure it's right. You want to make sure it's comfortable. You want to make sure it's watertight, that sort of thing, and that you're not sleeping on a termite's nest or a sharp bit of rock or someone's tent peg that's been left there. Little things like that when it's really dark and beginning to lose light quickly is something that 99% what people won't consider for the first time. But when you do sleep somewhere super uncomfortable, the next time you definitely do think about it. Richie, so my sleeping setup was the snug pack ionosphere, a Carrymore knobbled ground mat. I've got a Celsius -15 sleeping bag, and I've got a military bivvy over the top, and then obviously all the rest of the clothing I had on. But that was the foundation sleeping setup.
Yeah, I mean, Alpha Mike 07 was happening, dude. It's asking, did I use my hammock? Yes, I did. And a bit like Tim said, for those of you that follow my Instagram and stuff, you know that I used a hammock for the first time like a week previous. So that, as Tim, will tell you, he watched me set my hammock up in maybe less than 10 minutes. So me doing that week previous just was a massive, massive help for me. So I literally measured the trees out. I put my tree huggers, the little slings that basically go around the tree to a carabiner. Done that. Got the hammock. So I had the hammock. So that's a DD frontline hammock. I had the DD 3x3 tarp in a diamond formation over the top. And yes, Alpha Mike 07, the under blanket is a necessity, mate. Absolutely. So it's basically a quilted blanket that sits, for these guys who don't know, sits under your hammock, so you don't lose all the heat out the bottom. It was a really cool setup. Only downside is obviously in the pitch black. I found all my kit. I know where all my kit is in every single pocket of my Bergen. That was not the problem. The problem is I tied to a tree in the pitch black.
I forgot about this.
Yeah, I tied to the tree. Could not see the state of the tree in the dark. I've sat in my hammock. Turns out the tree's rotten. The tree snapped and nearly came down. And this tree was like what? It was a fully grown tree.
It would have hurt if it come down on you. That's for sure.
It was it was a definite lucky escape there. So so that was my setup. Worked really well. I say inside the hammock I had the Snug Pack Osprey, which I think is comfort down to maybe -4, maybe, I think. I have to check the stats on that, but normally the Osprey, Snug Pack Osprey for me, I never have any issues. It's normally more than warm enough for me.
I think in those types of conditions where we were with the wind chill was definitely the big factor. When that wind picked up, it really drove the temperature down. I would imagine it was around 0 degrees that night, the Friday night, with the wind chill probably -4, -5. It was definitely very cold. With the Saturday night, plunging temperatures even further down. But a lot of time was spent by a lot of the guys that were there Friday night by the fire, trying to keep warm.
Absolutely.
And also, luckily enough, we managed to get a little bit of hot food in that night. So that was handy.
So, talking about the cold weather, obviously, so the Friday night was bearable. We had the fire going. That wasn't as cold. I think when I checked the weather forecast, maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, just before sun up, its coldest at maybe -4. However, I think the Saturday night was much colder, maybe -6, -8. With regards to warm kit, what would you say sort of not made the weekend, but sort of got you out to shit this weekend?
For me, definitely two items that really did. I definitely noticed. One of them is actually this. It's just come out of the wash today. Is the Arc'teryx RHO. I put my thermals on. I had this over the top, and then my BDU over the top. And this was good. Comparable to any other kind of fleece thermal top, I honestly couldn't tell you. If it's worth buying this or buying, half the price of this, getting a 511. Yeah. I don't know. One thing that was definitely, a big game changer is actually what I wore out here earlier. It was this. Most of you guys know about this. This is the Helicon level 7. This thing was fantastic. So when that Friday night, we're standing around the fire, I've got the hood up, hands in my pockets. I mean, without pushing what I'm saying to being bullshit, I was toasty. I was warm to the point where I could feel obviously the cold on my lips and my nose, but my hands, my body was warm. Warm to the point of being, very, very comfortable. That night I slept with just the thermals on and this over the top. But definitely that jacket. Just trying to think when we were in the BDUs only during the day, and then when that temperature drop happened on Saturday and I put that jacket on, I was back to being, nice and toasty again. So again, a jacket that isn't much more expensive than a hoodie. It's kind of crazy. So what about you?
For me, it was, I'd have to say, the Helicon thermal sort of underwear set. Give me 2 seconds, I'll just grab the box.
So I know Richie recently got this thermal set from Military First. He was looking for a new thermal set. He's got it here. Definitely recommended.
So, cold weather, men's underwear. So this is the full set. So this is.
And you said this is like a hex pattern quilted material, right?
Yeah. So basically, that is so grid fleece lined on the inside. It is an underwear garment. So there's no pockets, nothing like that. You have a zipper up here, a little Velcro neck collar, which is quite nice. But for me, on the Friday night, I literally I had that on and a t-shirt over the top in my sleeping bag, and that was literally it. That was it on the Friday night, and I was more than toasty. So that was a massive plus. The other thing that I really liked about that is obviously when we were out on patrols, obviously I wore that the whole time.
Yeah,
literally never took it off. Even when we were patrolling, we was coming up those steep hills, full pack, fighting order, gun, lid, nods, everything, a lot of weight. Get to the top of the hill, actually sweating out from every orifice. And I'll be honest with you, I've had grid fleece before and never really liked it. This is the first time I've noticed grid fleece that actually worked. So I was sweating. I'm thinking, at that temperature, sort of -3 at that time, I'm thinking this is going to get real cold real quick. Within, say, 15 minutes, done. All the sweat was wicked away. I didn't feel cold. I didn't feel wet. For the price I paid for that, it was incredible. I think it's something like £45, something around that mark. Sub £50 anyway. But quality bit of kit. Mate, I think that. What else for cold weather?
What jacket did you have on? I know you said that you'd had that jacket for a while, and it's been absolutely solid.
Yeah, do you know, it's not so much a jacket that I love, because I don't know if you saw, but I actually layered up, mate. And so this is a Helicon as well, and obviously this thing here, mate. I've had this Patriot fleece.
Oh, maybe it was the fleece. Yeah, my bad.
So I've had this thing for absolute years. I mean, it's quite tired now. I should really get a new one. But mate, as a mid layer, as a real thick mid layer. So if you have that, I had that, and then a hard shell over the top, and like you say, mate, just mega toasty. Yeah.
So, guys, just with regards to the questions, we're going to try and bounce through this debrief, and then we'll come back to the questions. We're going to try and wrap the debrief up pretty quick, next sort of 10 minutes.
So obviously Friday night set up, you know, so we've got our sleeping arrangement, we've got a harbour area set, we've got our entry point, exit point set. So we get up Saturday morning, we sort out, so basically it was a very small numbers, we're talking 18 to 20, I think, was it for task force?
Yeah.
And very similar numbers for op force. So there's only small numbers, so we're all on the same comms channel, we run through comms procedures, you know, the basic objectives for that weekend. For the most part, you know, the whole Sable call sign rolled out as one. I think the only other elements that went separate was mine and yourself, and the vehicles, wasn't it? The pickup and the Wimmick.
Yep. Yeah, I think from you know our perspective, one of the things that is definitely worth for me mentioning is the bikes. You know, we took them with the expectation of them rolling out and really doing us justice. And to be fair, they done that for me and exceeded all expectation. We used them for the full day Saturday. A massive thank you to Matt, who runs Sterling. He really did utilise the bikes to their maximum. We were out on them all day. We found 3 of the 4 objectives. Is that right? 3 of the 4 bashers, or?
I believe so, mate, yeah.
So the one on the lower path we found, the one up high in the top back corner we found, and we found a weapons cache. So the one on the mid path near the quarry. Yeah,
we found a settlement bashers / tents late Sunday morning?
Oh yeah, Sunday morning, yeah.
Yeah, but again, so obviously a bit like Tim was saying, you know, we expected to go up there, roll out these bikes for sort of fast recce ops, you know, etc. Sort of maybe hit and runs. We really wasn't sure how these were going to be utilised in game. But yeah, massive props to Matt for putting us to work on those. So we expected to stick to tracks, etc. You know, main supply routes. But yeah, like no chance. Like Matt had us pushing into the forests, like completely off road, like off tracks, stuff that, you know, guys would struggle to walk through. And these bikes just didn't hold back at all. A couple of times, guys, for those guys like Charlie, who's in there, I think still, those guys that have been to the trees, you'll know how steep it is. And a lot of guys were asking us, you know, are your bike's going to be okay getting up there? Are you going to get up there on your bike? And without a doubt, yes, it flew up there. Well, I gave someone a lift once, and both me and this other guy flew up this hill, no problem. It was it was incredible.
Yeah, the bikes were, for me, just awesome. The only thing that let them bikes down was my riding. They would have been more than capable.
It was awful
to fly up those hills quicker and easier than you know I allowed the bike to by my riding capability. You know, even to the point of, you know, we covered a ton of ground, like a real large quantity of the ground that we covered. We done it very, very well. And so, you know, for guys to go and do that out on foot, we're talking, you know, 4 hours, 3 hours worth of walking.
Yeah.
But for us, we hoofed around it in less than an hour. So, you know, we really did use the bikes to their potential, and for us, they were fucking awesome. Fast recce, in the capacity to be able to go out and cut people off. We were able to see people out on tracks, turn around, dismount off the bikes and go and engage on foot. It gave us maximum flexibility and really did kind of advocate our recce role, which is something that myself and Richie both really like the idea of, and can definitely see ourselves doing probably more in the future. More recce-based stuff.
yeah, I think like you say, mate. We never expected the bikes to perform this well. If I'm honest, to perform that well as a vehicle, and to perform that well in a role. Obviously, everyone says, "Oh, but they're so loud." Yes, they are very loud. But if we need to, if we need to push out, like Tim said, there are a couple of times when Matt pushed us out, on a specific op, say for instance where Intel was time specific, so we'd push out, hit a corner, dump the bikes on foot, and we could be there in 20 minutes, 20 minutes, if that, 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Whereas a call sign might take 45 minutes to get there. So for stuff like this, going in, setting up IDs within a limited time frame, yeah, it was awesome. And not once did the bikes, skip a beat. Even when we got up on that Sunday morning, it must have been still -3, -4.
Yeah.
Just pull the choke out, 2 kicks, and it was away. As you'd expect from a brand new bike. It was so super impressed. Like in game and out of game.
Yeah. One more thing. I mean, our favourite thing in the world was the night action. Both teams fully nodded up. Lots of very, very high end Gen 3. Easy to say, night vision there. Obviously, me and Richie are a big fan of the night stuff. So that was really good to get stuck in with that. Had some really good engagements from the enemy, put themselves in good positions off the side of the road. Me and Richie got caught up actually in quite a lot of incoming fire. I was medic. Yeah, I was medic, and I was actually medicing Richie's ankle, holding onto his leg, trying to drag myself up the road by his leg to try and get closer to be able to engage because we had that much incoming fire. Really good fun, lots of clean play. Sterling is definitely not anything to turn your nose up at. In regards of the people that go there, it's banter filled for sure, but very friendly, and there's no malice in it. You have to kind of go there with your thick skin on and be prepared for a little bit of a jibbing, especially from from my perspective and the position I'm in with the
#pledge.
Hashtag pledge, hashtag clean gun, hashtag no strike force. So that side of it is really good. But what a phenomenal bunch of guys they are.
I think
very caring, very aware of the people that are there. And at one point, someone did get a little bit lost, and it was kind of all hands to the deck to make sure that he was okay. So I just have a lot of time and respect for the way that they can keep a very professional, very high level to their events, as well as the banter, and as well as kind of accommodating everyone's skill set and capability and utilities that they have with them. They do that incredibly well.
Yeah, I think like Stu Harrison was asking what a Sterling like for new players. I can't for the life of me, mate. I've been racking my brains what the lad's name was. He messaged me on Instagram, so I should know. I apologise because it was his first Sterling event, wasn't it?
Was it Matt?
It might have been. Was it Matt? Might have been Matt.
Shit, I'm so bad with names, dude.
Yeah.
Really sorry. Either way, I think it's TDO4 or something like that on Instagram.
Yeah, it was so basically it was his first Sterling event, and of all the Sterling events he chose the trees. He's either a lunatic or he's a hardcore son of a bitch. So, and again, as long as you can have a laugh, take the banter up, obviously be switched on when you need to be switched on. This myth about Sterling being invite only and elitist, you could not be more opposite. As long as you do your job, do your role and do it to the best of your ability, then they'll welcome you with open arms. So always happy to see new faces at Sterling events. Always happy.
Yeah, definitely something that we'd advocate. They are definitely nothing to be kind of snitched at. They are hard. They are not going to come and wipe your ass for you. They're not going to provide. Matt, I was right. Yes.
No tears, just dreams.
That's it. Yes, Matt. So look, guys, don't expect to turn up there and have your shoelaces tied for you, for them to provide you with a spare set of gloves and help you set your camp up when you're struggling. It is big boy fucking pants time. There is no two ways about it. So, you know, from our perspective, and well, especially mine, you know, me and Richie sit very firm with this. They provide some incredible events that we recommend that anyone that's interested in Milsim gets along to. At the same time, be prepared. You know, start packing a week before, 2 weeks before you go.
Yeah.
Check, double check, check again, check the weather, fill your car with spares. You know, make sure that when you turn up there, you are ready to rock and roll. It is not time to pack the night before. It is time to pack the week before. Make sure that it's right.
But we're not saying that everyone's going to have their shit together. You know, like obviously like Matt, I was having a quick chat to him at the trees. You know, and even he said, you know, there's a lot of stuff that he's going to change. Like, I didn't need this, I didn't need that. I should have packed this. You know, it's all every day's a school day. But as long as you,
I love that saying.
As long as you make an effort to like Tim says, don't pack the night before. Be packing, you know, the week before, 2 weeks before. Just try and be self-sufficient. That's what I aim for. If you can look after yourself in every aspect, you don't have to borrow anything off everyone, don't have to ask anyone for anything, then that's a good thing.
Yeah, definitely. One of the other things before we begin to close this up is when you're at the event, guys, be ready. Be ready at all times. If you're asleep, try and sleep with your iPro on or fucking right next to you. Make sure you've got a gun in arm's reach. Make sure your stuff's around you. Make sure that you can get kitted up and ready to go ASAP. Matt come and bashed on the side of the tent. I have no idea what time it was. It was dead early. He was like, I need you and Richie out on a recce patrol. And I went, when? And he went, now. I need you out now. He rattled Richie's... I remember him just seeing him grab Richie's end of his hammock, like, Richie, come on, you're out now. And we literally put... I had my plate carrier out to one arm, my gun out to the other, threw that kit on, we were out and gone on the bikes almost instantly. It is, you know, in those cases where you are in a position to be relied on, that is not 20 minutes to get your shit together. That is being ready to up and go. Yeah. The same as being attacked at night. When stand two's called, guys, it's not 20 minutes of, you know, scratching your ass and rolling yourself out of bed. It is time to jump on it. So, you know, they're friendly, they're great guys, but like Richie said and I've said, you know, it's big boys rules and it's time to, you know, take this shit seriously. When it gets called on, you've got to be able to get yourself squared away quickly, potentially in the dark, under fire, and get up and be squared away. So definitely something to consider.
Yeah, like Tim was saying, you know, I think it was a Saturday night. Obviously, we just got to get our heads down for a little bit. And I literally, so if you imagine my hammock is like this, underneath my hammock I've got my Bergen. Laid on my Bergen is my rifle, and then my lid with my nods. So I've sort of rolled into my hammock. My feet are just hanging out one corner. So literally, I've got to jump out. So if we get attacked, I can jump out, get on my belt buckle, helmet first, nods, gun. Plate carrier, and I can grab mags when I need to because it's all underneath me. Yeah. I think even like, you know, like Tim said, he's, you know, woke up in the morning. He's like, "Did you leave your nods and lid out all night?" I was like, "Yeah, because I need to, if I roll out of my pit, that's the first thing I need to grab at night is my lid and my nods." Yeah. So it's definitely something worth thinking about. You know, a lot of guys when they de-kit, you know, they prop all their stuff up in the corner, which is fine. It's nice and tidy. It's you know, it's good house rules, but it's not good when you need to get to your gap, you know.
Yeah. Mine was like, as I folded the flap back on the tent in front of me, my nods were to my left. So what I did was I'd zip that down. As soon as that panel's open, I'd grab my lid and nods and then get to go. So, you know, that is... It's just being forward thinking, and it takes a little bit of time, and it's not something you're going to get overnight. It is, like Richie always says to me, every day is a school day. You learn, you learn, you learn, you learn. It's just ongoing. So yeah, you know, guys, it was a good event for us. Bikes, very, very good. Had some really good turn-ups for the kit. Massive thank you to the Sterling guys, essentially, for allowing us to come along, utilising the bike so well, be so accommodating to the fact that we kind of rocked up with these bikes and they really did put us to use. It was super, super good fun. I think the key thing for me now moving on is there's definitely some bits of kit I want to get. There's definitely some stuff I want to change. In regards of my helmet cargo pack, I kind of want to change that out for something a little bit different, maybe something a little bit more accessible. Definitely want to start running tags.
Yeah.
I think for me, tags that weekend could have been pretty good, especially when Sunday morning, Richie, we bumped up to that position, and when we spun round on the bikes to spin back, I'd love to have just been able to hop off the bikes then and go boom, and then whether they would have called it that going into their beds at early hours of the morning, but still,
I think definitely. But I definitely agree with you there, Tim. Like I say, there's always room for improvement. Doesn't matter who you are. Like, you know, you've got kit you want to swap out. I've got kit I want to swap out. Like, you know, I moved to a slightly bigger 3-day pack. Did it work for me? Not for the role that we were doing at that event. I think if our recce role was a bit more extended, so we were putting in, say, an OP for, say, 6 hours, yes, I would carry that. Personally, I'm going to go back to my little up and over envelope pack because that just seems to work every time. Another one on the to-do list for me is going to be remote debts. Seeing how effectively the Sterling guys use those.
12? So 12 kills?
Basically, we set up an ambush. The whole call sign, Sabre call sign, and us, and Nick from Sterling basically rolled out, I don't know how many, 20 foot of debt cable, cable in a remote debt, side of the road. We were so buried in, they didn't see us. The pins gower came out, so it's basically a vehicle with 12 people in the back of it, hit the clacker. Yeah, this thing went with all 12 people inside, so it was, such a big mission accomplished there.
Yeah, I think Matt was saying it was one of the biggest IED kills in Sterling history. It was just one of the biggest single bang kills going. I mean, 12 people with a single IED is really incredible. You know, a lot of green ops that weekend. And obviously, if any of you guys have been to the trees, you realise it's very dense in places. Very, very dense. I know that Kicking Mustang was in here earlier. I know he wanted to get down to it. He really did miss out. It's a playground for someone like him.
Mate, I can only imagine what that place would be like in the summer when all the foliage has come through. I reckon that would be incredible.
So, raging reviews. I mean, it was definitely good fun. Right, guys, we've got about 20 minutes. We can run over a little bit my end. The questions, we will try and get back to them. And we will try and bounce through the questions. If you do have questions, please put them in the comments now. If you've asked them earlier in the stream, if you wouldn't mind just rewriting them, and we'll start going through the questions. Richie, any that have caught your eye, please feel free to go through them. I know there's a lot.
Was it Alpha Mike 07 asked, did we get comms at the... I'm sure he said, did we get comms at the trees? Did we get comms? Yes, it was pretty good, although I was having a lot of problems with radios. So I was getting a lot of static. For me, whether it was the very high frequency we were using or just down the road, they had huge communications satellite relay. So I don't know whether that was affecting it anyway. So I swapped one radio out, put the other TRI in. I've got to swap the aerials, and basically I've ripped the aerial out. But it is all fixed. Tested the radios here now, and they're all good. They all work. So we did get comms. Comms were pretty good. You know, the guys from the Emmett, the UK guy from Disco 32 was there. He kindly lent us his SATCOM. Would have been awesome to set that up, but we didn't get a chance. So bit of a shame there.
Just seen a bit of a dip in the connection for some reason. I have no idea why. Hopefully we haven't lost too many people. I think they might be on a buffered stream. My stream is currently sat at 2666, just to let you know that he's watching. Okay, right, we are back. Okay, sorry about that, guys. It just dropped a little bit there, the connection. I have no idea why. I'm trying to keep an eye on it. We are down at 1%. Frames dropped. So, right.
So,
guys.
Just quickly, Alpha Mike 07, what pack was I using? basically I was using it's a Plat Attack. It's a limited run. I think they only made like 150 of them for the Aussie Special Forces, but it's similar to the Mystery Ranch. Mystery Ranch. It is nice. It's a nice pack, and for the right ops, it'll be very good. But for this, it wasn't right for this one. So
yeah,
that's it.
Right. Just going to bounce through some of these questions, Richie. Yep. I'll fire a few over at you. Right. No. Sorry, guys. Trying to catch up with all these. There's a ton. Matt Powell, Ambush was sick. Okay, Richie. R.O. Sterling, okay with leaf suits? Stango in that runner.
Yeah, I believe so, mate. I think because obviously you have factions which abide to camo rules. Was that a Kim Jin? Was it?
I didn't stir it enough.
Man down. Yeah, so leaf suits will be cool because as part of a team, you should always be on comms. So therefore, we should be able to raise. You should know where each member of your team is the whole time. So yeah, why not? Why not?
Graham, if you took a load of the Sterling, the sniper ops guys to Sterling, you're going to cause havoc. Snipers aren't massively overplayed. I've run as a sniper with the Sterling team. Good few years back, very few people do it. You guys would cause absolute havoc. I massively recommend it. Speak to Matt beforehand. Talk to him about what you want to do, and he will square you away with some cool shit. That would be my take on it. Is speak to him beforehand and let him know what you want to do, and he will do. He'll make some taskings for you. Did the terrain cause you any comms issues? I think it was like Richie mentioned more the really high frequencies that they were using. My Bao thing wouldn't even pick it up.
Yeah, so terrain-wise, not really. For the most part, we could get comms over the whole site. It wasn't until I was experiencing issues with my own radio that I had problems. So no, it was pretty good. Pretty good.
Okay. Bikes and NV, how did it work? The actual night that we wanted to, that it was put forward about driving the bikes with NV, we actually got it capped. And that was by Ben. That was down to the temperatures being so low, and that if there was an accident, then it really could have been potentially life-threatening. So I agreed. Richie and myself both said, we'll give it a go. But I think in the conditions and thinking about it now, if potentially one of us was to have an accident and it'd be bad, a broken bone, anything, a bad head knock, I think with temperatures that cold and being so remote, I'm glad that Ben sort of capped it. I think it was a good call.
Yeah, and I think, so in answer to your question, we don't know, we didn't try it. I do have an IR head torch as well. It's white and IR, so it is possible. I think because how steep and how rough the terrain was, it just wasn't an option. I think if we get to another site where the ground is a bit flatter, maybe like actual roads, I think it'll be definitely an option.
Yeah. Bringing the bikes to Grey Slate, of course, they will be at Grey Slate. We should be probably running a good few amount of vehicles there at Grey Slate, but they will definitely be there, guys. In regards to lids, what's the best thing to run? Real steel stuff or not? Me personally, definitely not real steel. They're too heavy, especially if you've got a pencil neck like me. But you can go and pick up an FMA lid. Richie, yours isn't FMA, is it?
I think mine is FMA, but a very, very old one. On that note, if guys have any experience on lids and comfy liners for lids, I'm looking for a new project. I'm looking to get something a bit, just have another option. Yeah.
So, guys, any experience with lids or lid liners, drop Richie a message. Team Wendy, someone said, they're just stupid expensive, in my opinion, the lids for what they are. Okay, how much fuel did the bikes go through? Mine, about £4 worth, probably. So half a jerry can.
I did about 3/4 of a tank, and then I topped up. So maybe about £6, £8 worth.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Did you carry any thermals? We didn't carry thermals, but we definitely, it's something that is definitely not banned or not allowed or anything like that. Thermal's fine. So yeah, guys, if you are, you're interested in that, that sort of thing, running thermals, high-end NV, yeah, not a problem at all. We didn't run thermal at the weekend. There was someone there with thermals, but he didn't use it.
Why would you not? I don't understand.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Are you allocated a role within your team when you get there? How does it all work? Stuart Harrison.
Yeah. So if you turn up, if you turn up on your own and you're not with a team, you will probably be put with another team or a bunch of guys. So let's say, for instance, Stu, I imagine you'd go with your team. So all they would do is, as a team, Matt would say, right, go away. I need a TL, 2IC, RO, medic. And basically, guys, again, this is where it comes into big boy rules. So it would be down to you guys as a team, as a group, to decide who wants those roles. So if within your team you have a guy who's always medic, who's always RO, fantastic. So yeah, they don't say to you, what, you're medic, you're RO. It's normally down to, player's choice.
Yeah. Which I think works really well. I mean, I ran as medic out of me and Richie, having some tabs on me. It's no drama at all. It does mean bouncing about a little bit. I mean, our TL of the whole team went down and had to kind of run through getting shot at to getting back in.
It was a nice little scurry. I watched that.
It was like, grabbed the scar by its scruff of the barrel and just hoofed to Will to get Will back in. And also, when Will was dead, fair play to him, he wouldn't touch the comms. So his hands were like this. And the second that I got that pin through his trousers, he fucking got on the comms and started commsing everything in. Which, again, just shows that those guys are, super legit. So, yeah, I mean, that works really well. Right, I'm just going to keep going through these questions. What events next for me and you? And anything you want to change from your setup?
What event is next for us? Well, I think for us, I don't know about us as a married couple. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know there is you got the GRS Milsim coming up.
That's 14th, 15th, isn't it? I can't
14th, 15th, same date as the trees. Other than that, I think really, I'm not going to say next event, but what we're really focusing on is either going to be Grey Slate for us. We're going to be focusing on quite heavily, and the Sterling Catterick 3-day event. That's also going to be a big focus for us. That's my views anyway.
Yeah, no, me too. If I can get to any games in between, then
absolutely, yeah.
Sadly for me, 14th, 15th is a write-off. Prior to that, next week we're at IWA, and then coming back from IWA, planning to get a photo shoot in before the end of the month, and then probably try and get the 3-day at Catterick in, like Richie mentioned, and then it will be Grey Slate. So if we can fit anything in between then yes, but if not, then is what it is. Going through to the next questions. Are comms required? Definitely. As a team and as an individual, always good to have comms. I didn't run comms this weekend because my bio thing actually wouldn't pick up the frequency, and it was a massive problem. I really wish that I essentially could have resolved that somehow, because not running comms was a pain in the arse. Especially there was a part of an ambush. I couldn't hear the messages. I was being called up. I thought I was being called by Richie, so I stood up at the wrong time, and then just ducked straight back down again. Luckily, wasn't seen. So it was quite handy that, you know, I wasn't, but definitely should have run comms at all times. If you've got the capability, definitely run comms.
Yeah, but again, you know, that's something we can look into. That's obviously inherently within the radio or the frequency that was being used. But yeah, definitely, like if you've got the ability to, like say, like Tim said, if you've got it, run it. You know.
Okay, what gloves did you run? I was running the Outdoor Research halberd gloves. They were cold, too cold, really. A couple of times on the bikes, my fingers were actually hurting.
Yeah.
I said it to Richie a couple of times, like my fingers are killing me. But Richie, you was running some heavyweight gloves.
So for the most part during the day, we were on the bikes and the weather, you know, and actual sun was out and it wasn't too bad. I run the Mechanics Fast Fit just because they're quick on and off. But again, the good thing about those, I have a little belt loop on them, so I just clip them on my belt. When it got to night time, when it was like the temperature really started to drop, I actually run some very old sealskin thermal gloves, which I use for Sweden. Lovely. But I think it was the Friday night where I set my hammock up and I had the mechanics on, and you know, your fingers start to hurt where it's that cold. You're trying to do knots and stuff.
Yeah.
Took them off within, I'm going to say, 10 seconds of putting the sealskin thermals on. I just felt the life come back to my hands. Yeah. It was such a good feeling.
Yeah, definitely. So for me, definitely some warmer gloves. I've actually got a set of, I think they're sealskin, like inner gloves to wear underneath your gloves. I didn't take them with me because I'm an idiot. There's no other reason. I'm just stupid. I should have taken them. They like can fit in a like a shoulder admin pocket, and I didn't take them. They're still actually in the wrapper. Team Wendy liner, Richie, potentially.
Nice. I'll look into that.
Team Wendy make a good FMA make a good Team Wendy X-Fill clone. If you fancy an X-Fill.
Nice. The Wendy X-Fill is. I have been looking at that. If I'm honest with you, that's a good shout. So
Alpha Mike 07. I've sent you some bits, Richie. Buck Todgers. We'll see you at Grace Lake. Guys who are in here,
mate.
If you are looking for an early meal sim, if you're looking for something to run out this year, if you're an experienced meal sim player and you want to come along, go and check out Grace Lake 2. It'll be a good opportunity for you to see me and Richie, hang out with us for the day. If you go if you go Blue 4, if you go Op 4, it's a good opportunity for you to get your ass kicked by me and Richie. If you're going PMC, again, you can come and haggle with us over trying to procure us for the day.
Yeah.
But if not, we'll probably kick your ass. At night, we'll probably give you a good bit of an ass kicking as well. So, yeah, if you're interested, get along to Grace Lake 2. Yeah. It will definitely be good fun. Definitely good fun. Going to bounce through the rest of these questions. Where does all of your gear go? Do you have a fob, camp, or house? Richie, I'll let you go for that one.
So this event at the Trees, it was hard routine for both sides. So when we say, for those guys who don't know hard routine, so basically you're outside, you're to the elements. It's down to you to provide tent, basher, hammock, bivvy, whatever you wish to protect yourself. However, it's very dependent on the event itself. So things like more MOD sites like Carewent, Swinnerton, Catterick, 9 times out of 10, you will be in a building. The state of that building varies. Some have doors and windows, some just have doors, some have no windows. So, you know, sometimes a building with no windows is sometimes worse than being outside, you know, because the concrete and the bricks tend to hold the cold. But yeah, 9 times out of 10, guys, you know, it's very organised. And I'm talking from the Sterling page here. You know, this is just from my experience at Sterling. So you turn up, sign in, you'll be, you know, told to unload all your kit. They normally go on a wagon, or you drive your kit to a specific designated building, holding area, and so that's where you'll stay.
I'm just getting the super chat back up. So I can see everything. So yeah, guys, it is very dependent upon site, but with us, being at the Trees, it was, you know, a camp area, and then everything else is undercover. So bashers to use to cover up all of your packs and all of your equipment. See you there, coming after your recommendations for last year. Cheers, Airsoft Nation. Appreciate it. I want a shakedown event will be PMC. Nice one, Buck. We will see you there. We will be haggling with you at some point.
Yes.
If you do have tea on the go, burgers, sausage rolls, anything like that, then please send up a flare and me and Richie will turn up like genies on motorbikes.
Bring cake.
Yeah, bring cake. Lemon drizzle cake if you...
or
velvet.
Cake, mate. It's chocolate.
Bring that or bring gin. Okay. Signed up for Op 4. Should be good fun. Yeah, awesome. Totally. Really, really can't wait. Any tips for NV training? Charlie Gaines. Yes. My tip for NV training is spend more time dialing in your IR laser and understanding shooting at distances. This is what Richie taught me back in the day. Understand where your laser pointer will be on someone or to the left or right of someone when you're shooting at 50 meters as 10.
Yeah.
So I dial mine in at about 30, but it means that at 50, my laser is to the left of someone, and if I'm under, then my laser is to the right of someone. Normally, it's on either arm is enough to be able to make contact, but at some of the distances we shot at the original grey slate, especially at some of the further distances, I was actually having to shoot to the left of someone by about a foot.
Yeah. Likewise, just coming off of that, like Tim said, where your IR pointer is going, you just need to be aware of your height over bore. So when you're zeroed at 30 meters, which, like Tim says, I think is a good distance, a good happy medium. I've had it before. When you come into CQB, you're coming up over a window ledge or some kind of barricade. You know, the PEC will be on them, but obviously the round is maybe, you know, coming this much further down. So you're either clipping the you know, the hard standing, or your where your target is, you may only have a tiny bit the target exposed. So although your pointer's on them, the round will impact low because of height over bore. So yeah, just be aware of that. You know, your distances. You need to find a happy medium, and when you're engaging shorter or further out, just make those adjustments.
Yeah, just understand, you know, where the rounds are going. For me,
just take time to work your rifle. Just practice with it.
Yeah,
you know.
For me, tracer rounds work really well. Get your MV on, put your IR on, run your tracers, and you can see where the rounds are going in correlation to the IR laser.
Yeah.
Is NV necessary? No,
absolutely not.
No, you can be just as effective with white light and a bit of this, and you can be very, very powerful on the ground. A good example for me, I went to Apocalypse with Richie and a few of the other hood rats that we run with. The Candyman himself, the Candyman's dad, Mr. Admin, and a few other guys. And really, I got outplayed by a few of the Burt guys with some super bright white light and some very cunning plans of leaning.
Just a good movement. Yeah.
Tom, I think it was Tom, or George, sorry, not Tom, George, he outplayed me. He played me very, very well in regards of, you know, moving torches around and holding them off at different positions and then leaving them set up, and I bounced over to it and he just lit me up from another angle. So if you use a white light well, no, it's definitely not necessary. Again, decent white light, couple of £100, surefire. And
again, the same aspects work for white light as long as you know how to use it effectively. You know, firing and manoeuvring with white light. We won't go into it, but you know, it's a lot of the things, you know, push over from NV to using white light.
So just going through some of these questions. We're running our first NV training this weekend. Thanks, Traps, from Trojan. Yeah, mate, take your time. Don't rush. Focus on where your IR pointer is. Just get used to using the rounds. If any of you can run tracer just for dialing the optic in, then use tracers. Other than that, just take your time. Don't try and go for the quick movement shooting. Just make sure you understand where the rounds are going. That would be it for me. Mole Arthur said, do you still recommend an Armor Sight Spark Core? If you are absolutely desperate on getting NV, and you cannot see your budget change into something more expensive in a long period of time, yes, the armour sight is definitely not a bad unit to get you going. I actually used it with Richie at Stanta, and luckily enough, we had some really good moon. And the good thing about it is you can see an IR laser, and it worked okay. If you are looking to upgrade it within a year or so, then what I would recommend you do is just wait out and go Gen 2 Plus and get a Cobra.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be it. I mean, coming from someone that's used, you know, different gens recently, it's definitely not a bad starter unit. That's definitely for sure. Out of all of the Gen 1 units, Pulsar and all the rest, Yukon, whatever, the Spark Core is definitely the best. It's definitely not level with a Gen 2, but you can go and get a Cobra. The Cobra is definitely the one that I recommend to people. They're between £1,400 and £100 on their own. Obviously, then you have to get a mount. You have to get a helmet, an arm for it, so an arm and a mount. And then you've got to go and buy some type of IR device, whether that be a D-bow or a PEC. So, yeah, I mean...
Yeah, I think once you've done that, then the price is creeping up into sort of the plus £2,000 mark, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, don't be wrong. You can pick units up Gen 3 for, what, 2.2, 2.3, 2.5?
Yeah, it really depends on the risk that you want to take in running the device and who you want to get it from.
Yeah, we've got to get it from B&Q Tapes or us. Then you can, but I wouldn't. You know, it depends if you want to knock on the door. But no, when I'm talking sort of £2,500 for a Gen 3 unit, they're going to be second hand. You don't know how they've been used and abused. Whereas, you know, if you're going for maybe the Cobra, the Cobra Demon.
Yeah.
It's going to be brand new. You're going to have a year's warranty. So, guys, it really does come down to your own situation. You know, how much money you've got to spend, how long you're looking before you upgrade to Gen 3, if that's what you want to do. If you want to stick with, if you're happy with Gen 2, crack on. You know? But Gen 3 is life.
Gen 3 is... it's definitely something else. Guys...
Dual tubes or GTFO?
Well, thanks, mate. I'll just leave, shall I?
Bye. Yeah.
I mean, guys, night vision is definitely a big conversation. We could do a whole live stream just on night vision. It's definitely something we can bring. If you are interested in NV, learning about NV, so on and so forth, then make sure you hit us up. We'll do a live stream on it. It's no problem at all. Guys, any more questions, please put them in now, because we are burning time very, very quickly. These live streams seem to just escape away like lightning. Also having some issues with the connection dropping. I will try and resolve it over the next couple of days to make sure that we kind of eradicate all of the drops in the stream.
Also, just another thing that we didn't really touch on for the debrief for the trees. The Vortex optics that we took down there, the Strike Eagle, it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Being able to just look at what could potentially be a weapons cache or a basher or an ambush point and just dial that in from 1 to 6 times. Yeah, incredible. With crystal clear glass as well. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, big thanks to the guys, Chris over at Vortex UK. It was awesome.
Yeah, I think that's another thing for me. I've had a lot of optics fail in cold temperatures. They normally mist up if there's any moisture inside them. For me, very, very clear glass, a very sturdy optic. Also, being on the bike, I ran the scar down my back and it whacked on the seat so much that I actually have lost one of the bolts out of the rear fender, because my bike, my scar was constantly banging against the fender, did not drop zero at all. So yeah, very, very, very good optics from Vortex. Again, Chris, we need to sort you out. Another thing, guys, me and Richie did think about smashing a few of the optics up just to test the guarantee, but they do come with a full lifetime guarantee. If they get shot out, broke, run over, drop kicked, elbow dropped, smashed through a table, anything, then you can just phone up Vortex and they will sort them out for you. So definitely. If you are considering spending a little bit of extra dough on optics, Vortex is the way to go.
Definitely. I think there was an Instagram post. I think it's on the main, not Vortex UK. I think it might be on Vortex UK. But if you go on Instagram, look for Vortex. They've got a post. Basically, it shows you this guy. I think he's in the States collection. He's got like Vortex binoculars. He's got a rangefinder, a scope, a Vortex stand. Basically, his house caught fire. The whole lot was burnt to a crisp. Like,
shit! It's a bad day.
You can make out the shape of some of the scopes. I think it's one of the spotting scopes is just a pile of ash. Vortex replaced the whole lot. Replaced it. It was a house fire. Replaced the whole lot. So I don't think you ever get a guarantee or warranty as good as that. Yeah,
and also the team from Vortex have also been super supportive of what we're doing, and they have been very friendly and sort of good guys to deal with. They respond to emails, they pick the phone up. It's exactly what you want when you're spending that extra bit of money. So really, very, very good kit. What's the most hyped bit of kit that's been a pile of wank? Good question.
Yeah. Don't know, really.
I'm normally really picky with what I get, even if it's kind of kit that's been sent to me. I am normally quite astute with what I get, but there's definitely been stuff that I've got that's been a little bit disappointing.
Yeah. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. No, I'm not going to say a pile of wank, but one thing I was a little bit disappointed with this weekend. So my DD hammock and the tarp. I set the tarp up in the diamond formation, and obviously with the trees, you can't move trees with ease. So as I set it up, the tarp is just touching coming around and just touching one of the trees. Overnight, as it's rubbed on it, a load of the stitchings come apart on the tarp. Yeah, mate. So I'm going to message them about that, because let's face it, it's in a forest. It's going to rub against trees, And if it's going to pull the stitching at something like that, it's a bit, a bit disappointing. But it's not a pile of wank because it's a whacking great tarp, and
I don't know really. I mean, not disappointing, to be fair. I run the Helicon boots out for this weekend. Dry, warm, worth 400 quid. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't say they're wank, but it's a lot of money for the boots. I think they're £380. Would I rather have been in my Solomons? Probably, yeah. Solomons are super comfy. That's the main thing. I did change my socks out this time. I've changed from sort of Thinsulate to my Solomon socks. Stupid thing. Don't think about it all that much. How important are just a pair of socks. But I went to the Milano Wool Solomons. If you are interested in picking up a decent pair of socks, they've got them on sale in Sports Direct at the moment for half price. 16 quid for 2 pairs. They're down from 36 quid or something like that. Yeah. Definitely worth it. The hard killers for me they're great boots. They're super waterproof. They're good if you're walking in boggy environments. But for just the cold, I think I'd rather have been in my Solomons. To be fair. Other than that, one thing I will say, super impressed with the TM this weekend. It was out in the cold. Apart from a battery dying today, which I actually found out what the problem was, Richie. I will show it to you because I've got it in my bin.
You said it literally you fully charged it and said it was dead.
Can you see this?
Oh,
So that's the connector that attaches to the battery.
Oh, it's come away from the battery itself.
Yeah, so if you can see here, it should go in here. Sit down there and it's just come out.
Oh, mate, that sucks.
So I think the cold has made the joint really, really stiff, kind of like really solid.
Yeah.
With no kind of malleability, and
do you still have the Dean's connector for that?
Yeah, I've cut it off.
Okay, mate. Next time you see me, give it to us. I'll repair it. I'll fix it.
No. I'm just binned it. It's dead. It's going.
Mate, I'll take it.
Really? All right. Okay.
If he's going Buckshee, mate, I'll have it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. I'll get out of the bin. You can have it. It just needs soldering. Literally needs a top taken off and soldering.
I had the same thing because in my Scar L, the batteries are really tight. So I went to try and pull it out. I tried to pull it out by the cable, and same thing where it went pop, and I was like, "Well, that sucks." So yeah, just cut the top, cut the heat shrink off, resoldered, new heat shrink.
It's in my drawer next to your lighter.
Yes.
Got two now. They're both like for me, both work. Look.
Oh, good, because my lighter didn't work. Yeah. So guys, just for those of you that don't know, like when we say it was cold, like everything stopped working. So batteries, radios, my Scar Heavy.
It's not like you haven't got a brand new TM Scar Heavy sat next to you, is it?
Maybe. Yes, it killed that. Obviously, I've got a similar sort of jet flame lighter to Tim's. That stopped working. Like everything broke, everything. But it was just because it was so cold. So cold.
Yeah, it was super, super cold.
Obviously, we got up in the morning, and I think the bottles of water underneath my hammock had ice in them, didn't it? It was frozen.
Yeah, mine was still frozen when we got down to have a bit of breakfast. So, yeah, it was super cold. Right, guys, any more questions now on a serious note? Whack them in the comments. We're going to run through this 10 minutes, and then we're gonna have to jump. Why do you think everyone runs multicam MTP these days? Seems way overused. I personally run Woodland, Desert, True, Spec, Tiger Stripe. I must be a special snowflake. I think that a lot of companies put a team as MTP because it's cheap. You can buy surplus MTP from surplus stores, and it means that people can go and buy a head-to-toe kit for next to nothing.
Yeah, I think, absolutely. The most mass-produced camo is multicam, and like I say, mass-produced is cheap. But on that note, yes, Woodland and Tiger Stripe is just for the cool kids. Just for the cool kids.
Yeah. The trees, fully tactical harbour area, no white light, etc. Yes. So it's shielded naked flames and no white light. Yeah,
I mean, it was red light. No light, but preferably red light. I think obviously on the Friday night when we were setting up, white light was fine. But once the op goes live, absolutely.
Yeah. So again, I'm a massive fan of red light. I did see a few people, I think, especially at the top end, with the vehicles and stuff coming in and out, had like vehicle internal lights on. So normally especially on a rural, on an urban op, that would all be switched off and be pitch black. But I think down to the conditions, it was so cold. There was a real big concern on health and safety. A little bit of white light, I think, in some cases is actually, it's not terrible. But in the harbour area, 99 times out of 10, no white light, no naked flames unless they're shielded. Richie's got this really cool little slide together. Frames go around his stove. It stops any kind of signature from the light go out, but also protects the flame. Definitely something I want to get, actually.
Gucci bit of kit, that, mate.
It is, yeah. So, guys, looks like we've burnt out all of the questions. So, thank you very much for joining us. It's been really cool to go through a bit of a debrief. Yeah. So, like Tim said, thank you for all the questions, all the interest in obviously what kit we were running, how the bikes went. It's good to sort of see what people, want feedback from how our event went, because I think we were a bit dubious as well as to how they were going to work, not just in game but out of game as well. Yeah, I think there was a fair few people at that event that was expecting something very different from the bikes and wound their necks severely fucking inwards when they saw how well the bikes worked. They worked incredibly well. So definitely something that we would recommend to people. Obviously, get clearance from your site. Speak to your providers of events before you go and buy them to make sure you can use them. But we definitely recommend the bikes. They are super cool. If you want something to scud about on some woods in, They're absolutely epic. What were the socks you mentioned? They are the Milano Wool Solomon socks. You can get them at Sports Direct. They're on 50% sale at the moment.
Nice. Bargain basement. Yeah,
mate. Richie, is your gun hanger made from pallet wood?
Absolutely. Weathered, covered in SAE 10 oil. So well and truly weathered, mate, yeah.
So, yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We really appreciate all of the support. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. A share of the channel. If you could just drop the Heresy group a mention to all of your airsoft buddies, it would be fucking awesome. We're really trying to push the channel, especially before IWA. I can see us coming back from there with some real big things for the channel. So, if you've got friends, if you've got Facebook groups, if you've got WhatsApp groups, whatever, please give us a mention. Please get your friends over to our site. Get them to hit that subscribe, like the videos, get involved in the content. It really does mean a lot to us. So, that would be fucking awesome.
That'd be great. So, obviously, guys, we are going to be super busy. We've got a ton of videos to do. We've got IWA coming up. But as always, we will try and, as always, we try and answer your questions on Instagram, Facebook, etc. So, guys, if we don't get to your questions within a day or two, just bear with us. Unlike Tim, I have a day job. He just sits in his office and swings on his chair all day. That's all
I just do this all day, drinking gin. It's just that.
Whee!
That's pretty much it. Guys, the people asking about gameplay, me, personally, never. But as we said with the stickers once, maybe. So I'm not saying that Richie has a helmet cam that he runs, but he has a helmet cam that he runs. So,
I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows?
So, guys, yes, potentially, who knows? It could be something that comes to the channel. If it gets demanded that much, then, obviously we'll have to do it. But, guys, look, have a great weekend, or the rest of your week. Enjoy your weekend. We will catch up with you after IWA. The video Friday, just to give you guys a heads up, is going to be about the pit bikes. Then we're away. Expect lots of content next week while we're at IWA. And then if you do want to still catch up with us, grey slate, and then also information on the training coming real soon.
Yep.
Right, that's it, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you all soon.
Adios.
Cheers, Richie.
Bye.
Bye.